cry, when the youth cry. I'm a young god, I'm a king, I'm a star. You can't tell us cause we know just who we are. I'm a young god, I'm a king, I'm a star. You can't tell us cause we know just who we are. When the youth cry, I listen cause they tell us for
We are back. Back in the house.
Episode 21, Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
21,
Yes,
21.
sir. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the P1 Reality Check podcast.
It's been a second.
Man,
this
Lee.
format, this second.
Yes.
A lot of things happened between that time.
Absolutely.
Man, sorry people out there.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I'm your boy, your man, Mark Fresh.
What's up? It's Lee Williams, P1, True Speaker, Love Ambassador. NC is always in the building. What up, Maya? Did you just like put a microphone to your mouth?
Yes.
That really happened? Oh, man.
Yeah, a little technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties today in the show. We'll get through it.
Yeah. We still gonna shout out the crew.
Yeah.
No
If
doubt.
you say it really loud, you might be able to.
Just scream.
It's your boy YNM John.
Just put
There you go.
Put the mic over there so they can hear
I'm
the
putting
voices out.
captions when we singing.
Hey.
It's DTA here, all from Jersey, North Carolina.
Okay, it's your boy YNM John Doe. Positive one clothing on my body. You already know how I'm coming in.
All right. The crew's in the building. Yes, Lee. Woo-wee. Boy.
A lot of
Feels
things.
good to be back on the
It
couch.
It does feel good to be back on the couch, man.
Nice and comfy,
Yeah.
you know. Black History Month. All that good stuff. So, yeah, Lee, so it's about that time for What's Good.
Man, what is good? Man, so many things is good about, like this is one thing is good. This is like this week is the last week of basketball, being head coach. My son's basketball team, it's been an awesome experience once again, like football was. That's really good. The season, seeing all the growth of the kids and stuff like that is really awesome. But what was really good was we got to go down to Columbia, South Carolina to the what's it called, John? Fight from Within. Youth Mentor Youth Summit from Akevius Armstrong, which was really dope, and there was a lot of good speakers there. Demario Baker had awesome job. Who's Maya's brother, by the way. That was an awesome experience. Then our highlight was we got to take the whole team down to support our man YNM John Doe.
No doubt.
Help support him in his journey on to superstardom, to world's greatest. And that was cool. Wish we could have had the young guys, all the young guys with us, but we still made it do what it do. It was a dope experience.
Absolutely.
I mean, the
Super fun.
performance was the one that I saw, because I got there late because I had to coach. The one that I saw was ridiculous.
Yeah, first one was ridiculous too.
yeah.
And he did my favorite joint.
I know, I'm so
was
mad
hyped.
at that.
I was trying to record and
Yeah.
I'm like bobbing along, I'm turning the camera on. I was like, forget it. I can't stay still.
Yeah, but
Can't do it.
that black and gold was in the building.
Oh, yes.
Hard.
Oh, yes.
It was hard with the black and gold,
Came in there looking like a team.
And I didn't have the shoes. I had been meaning to try to get shoes, but I had been procrastinating, never got any, and I didn't feel like my outfit was complete. But my boy D said, he said something like, "Oh, I got you." I was like, "All right, cool, appreciate it." I didn't know what he was talking about per se, but D came through. It hit me with the nines. These jokes right here today. You know what I'm saying? These ones over here, cuz what I'm talking about.
Looking fresh.
Got that yellow and black popping again, D. Shout out to you, boy. So that's my good thing that happened today.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's definitely beautiful. But yeah, that was a great event. It was a great weekend. Everything was definitely lovely with that. And for me, very, very special weekend. Yesterday we got to celebrate my mother's 74th birthday.
All right, all right.
So,
Mrs.
you know,
Frazier.
it's just a beautiful thing that, and actually on her birthday weekend, she actually did a girls trip. So she was in Atlanta
Oh, word?
since
In
Friday,
the
came
A?
back yesterday on the day of her birthday. And yeah, she was doing it up. You know what I'm
With
saying?
all her
Mom Dukes
girls?
got to get it in.
Oh,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? She sent me pictures. They getting in limos. I'm like, okay.
Miss Frazier said, what happened in the A? Stay in the A.
Exactly. She's doing her thing. So,
but then she said amen after it.
of course, because just a lot of praying. That's it. That's it. That's it. But yeah, she was doing her thing. So that's just beautiful. Just the fact that we got to share that, and she got to see
Yeah.
all her grandkids get older, and Deshaun is 18, and they're all teenagers now. So yeah, it's just it's dope, and,
That
and
is
she's
beautiful.
still doing her thing, still
Yeah.
healthy, getting around. So yes, it's dope. It's definitely dope. So yeah,
Shout
that
out
was
to the
my what's
peace
good.
of Miss Frazier.
Yes,
Shout
no
out to
doubt,
that.
no doubt.
Everyone should strive for that.
Yep. And for all you guys, the pool will be open, so
All right.
get it in just this summer. So, yeah, she would love to have company. So it's dope. So yeah, that's what's good.
Nice.
Absolutely. So let's take a quick break. All right, all right. We back.
Like we never left.
Yes, yes. Guest on the couch.
The silent assassin. The silent
Absolutely.
assassin.
Doing her thing. Bringing us, what's going on out there in these streets. So, Maya, what we talking about today?
What are we talking about? Silent assassin.
All right, so today we're not talking about any current event story, but we are going to talk about some current terms that are very prominent right now. So the first one is the metaverse, which is a virtual reality and a digital second life. The next one is our NFTs, which is also known as a non fungible token, and that is a non interchangeable unit of data stored on a blockchain, and it's a form of a digital ledger that can be sold and traded. Then the last term is cryptocurrency. If you don't know what that is, it's a digital currency in which transactions are verified and records maintained by a decentralized system using cryptography. So, how do y'all feel about these terms?
Did you even know what those words meant?
Not the
Okay, all right. I'm thinking like crypto.
Cryptography.
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, dang, Maya, you doing it? So I had to
this is
ask.
the definition.
I get it. I was like, man, yeah. I have no idea of any of that stuff you really said there. Honestly, like
Yeah, it's all. The thing
I've heard about it.
The thing about all of this digital stuff is it continues to just push people apart because nobody really fully understands it, but everybody talks about it.
Right.
everybody always talks about, investing in, an NFT. I'm doing this, I'm investing in cryptocurrency, and nobody really understands it because it's not meant to be understood. You know what I mean? Because it's just a new way of funneling money to the same place. And now everybody's just getting excited about it, right? Because it's crazy. Think about it. We went to the Hornets game. They were selling NFTs, and you could like text to get and purchase an NFT, and it's just like, and the people buying it probably don't even really know what it is, but
No.
they just think, wow, everybody's doing it. Like, it reminds me of almost like people getting baseball cards and stuff like that. I know it's not the same thing, but that's what it kind of brings my brain to. You know what I mean? Like when you think about all these things, like you could take an item which isn't really like tangible. It's just data. Like it's
So do you not see any pros in the NFTs?
I can't
see
see.
a pro.
I can't see pros. Like it's like saying this, right? All right, I'm gonna create this illusion for you, right? And you'll be happy in this illusion because you can get to do what you want to do in this illusion, right? And you can spend money in this illusion. You'll feel great, but you can create all this stuff and everything, but it's like not real. And like what it is like if people understand like that those things aren't real, and then they crash, and then where do they go and land? Where do they go for their happiness? Like now they're just stuck with themselves, and that's disappointing to them, and that is a very sad thing. Like that someone cannot like be happy with themselves, like without external things, and like I mean, it's just like one of those things where it just helps to pacify the illusion that people create about themselves and who they are. So I can't say that anything could be good from it, but what would happen, right, would be that you can make money from it. So now that means people think, oh, that's really good, but it's really not.
It's made up.
It's made up. It's not real. So it's like another way, because when people create things, people pay attention to those things. So now once you start paying attention to those things, now they have you, because now, oh yeah, this is the easy way to be happy. And like there's like not no such thing as an easy way to be happy. It's just the way is to be able to rid yourself of the illusions that are created all around us all day, every day. And it's just another big one of those. And if people have enough money, they can create anything they want and say it's real.
And soon poor people will be able to create anything they want.
Yeah.
Like if you think about the fact that there will come a time when you could get home from work and then go into your metaverse and become Chuck. You just become Chuck.
Yeah. And in
Your,
that whole
your
place,
name in your real world is not Chuck, but you become Chuck. And whatever you decide Chuck does, Chuck can wake up and walk to the store, punch 10 people in the face, and buy the Dr. Dre NFT for the Chronic, and then go home. And literally, you could be Chuck, and you can walk around, you could do different things. You can find a girl, and you can do whatever you want with that girl. But that's literally what it is. Like they're creating this illusion. And we were talking about the Oculuses before. That's all tied to it. Because that's what you'll be in, but you'll be living this reality. I know my daughter plays this game where her and her friends exist in this world where one of them's the parent, the other's a child, and they have a household and they pay the bills, and and they're doing all these different things, and it's all an illusion. And
now-
really, that's where we're
yeah.
going as a society.
I mean, and you want to know where we're going anytime in society, just watch what they're teaching kids in school.
Yep.
Right? So, like, if they're teaching kids, like, we're teaching all computer stuff to know how to be adaptable to what they're going to eventually create. Because they're not thinking now, they're thinking 20 years from now. because they know where they want the world to go. Because 30, 40 years ago, there were corporate jobs, right? That was the big thing in the 80s. Before that was the industrial time. So they taught different in the schools. They taught wood shop. They taught all kinds of jobs where you work with your hands, etc. They taught because those were profitable. Now, none of those programs exist. Why? Because you see coding places everywhere now. Because that's where we need coders. We need people to be able to do this digital warfare or whatever it is that is going on right now so we can stay ahead because they found a gold mine, right? They can literally create things out of nothing and people pay for it. And they pay for the illusion. There's no, like, you don't have to build a factory for this. You just make an app and have minds that can type these codes and algorithms in and continue to make money from people who are actually doing things for a world that doesn't exist. So imagine if I'm the creator of whatever metaverse there is. Like, all this money is going through all these, for real money is going through these people and all these fees are happening. Yes, people are going to get rich, but I'm going to get absolutely filthy rich. And I know, and think about it. There's a reason why Steve Jobs and Bill Gates did not allow their kids to play with technology.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
Yep.
look it up. They're the ones who started it.
Oh, and they're vocal about it.
Yes,
They don't hide it.
Yeah.
They don't make
Yeah.
it a secret.
Because they know people aren't going to stop using it.
Well, no, yeah, yeah. That should tell you something.
And his entire house is
They know
digital.
what it does.
Yes.
Car. I don't want my kids driving a car, but there must be a reason why I don't play with you.
Yeah. So I mean, like once you see that, but the thing is, it doesn't matter because you can put that on a loudspeaker and say, "Hey, this screen is not gonna be good for you for your actual real life because it's creating an illusion, right?" And do you think people are going to actually stop?
People still smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly. but look, they're gonna get mad at you
Right.
for trying to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why in this world, like once you get into this upside down space of like what's reality, what's not reality, because this technology knows how to engage your endorphins to where you stay engaged with it all the time, and that is the computer's people's intentions of that. We start and we don't know that because we're walking around, in like because we're so happy about these new things that come to the apps and stuff like that, and we can do these cool new things. But meanwhile, all of our attention is going there, and it's not in real life.
So do you think we should just keep adapting to these new technologies, or do you think we should try to combat it by still
I
doing-
say, well, it's going to be around you, so it's not like you eventually not going to be able to not to exist not using the stuff. You know what I mean? Because everything like is going away. Like ATMs will be gone eventually. You know what I mean? And I remember when they first came in. Because it's always the next thing. But I would say, to look around in awareness and understanding that everything that you see that makes money has a purpose, and you need to see like how that affects you. And because it's one thing to be a TikToker and aware of what the device is and what it's meant for and why you're addicted to it, etc. And it's another thing to be not aware at all and be oblivious of it, because then you can get lost. So I mean, because you can't sell people not to, because it's just gonna happen.
And that's really what it is. Like right now, as society becomes more and more dependent on digital age and everything digital, our currency digital, when you think about crypto, what we do and how we live our lives is on a digital platform. If everything is digital, we're just going to lose connectivity. So eventually, humanity's going to lose its way. So whatever that means, whatever is going to happen as a result of that, but we are going to lose our way because
Or we've
we're
already
gonna
lost our way.
we're gonna care less and less. Like people are just gonna matter less to one another because you can always create something fake. So you don't need real when you could just be fake because so many people live their lives wanting to be something. So I want to be something. So now if I could just create it whenever I want. I mean, if you just look at all, whether it's, somebody could live their life every day as a woman and they're a man. And but not even I'm not even talking about from the standpoint of physically changing anything or physically doing anything. As a matter of fact, your real world, you could be hetero. But then you go into this digital world and you are female and do everything female does in that digital world. That's literally where you could go. My take on it is you could probably go there and be a dog too. That's what you want to do. And you walk around and you act as if you're a dog. But to me, eventually what ends up happening is you start to lose touch because it'll become everything becomes easier and easier and easier to do it. Think about it. At one point, nobody had a computer in their house. That was like, what? A computer?
Now
That's like
everybody
rich
has
people
it.
stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Now, you know what I'm saying? What? A cell phone? That's
Now-
rich people stuff. Now
Yeah.
everybody got one.
Now we have one in our hand.
Yeah, so they eventually make it so the masses can have it, but what they do is they make us crave it. And they make us desire it so much because they put it up here. When they could have been selling it to you for 100,
Yes.
they just started selling it to you for
Yes.
1,000. But they knew they could have made up money at 100, but they knew if they sold it for 1,000, not a lot of people would buy it. But think about it, what they always do, drop the damn price on everything.
And you
Everything
think
starts high and then eventually as it goes, it starts to lower. So now more people can buy it.
and then you thinking that you winning.
And you thinking you win.
Like, yo, I just got this iPhone 50% off, bro. How about that? You know what I'm saying? They still made double retail costs on that. You know what I mean? Like, but
It's like a 400% more.
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we're so programmed by it now because it's nothing every year to see a line for the new iPhone to come out, and they come out every year. And do they change a lot? No. They'll change the cord to plug it in so it can mess up your damn everything you else
So you
got
can
charged in the
buy it
house. You know what I'm saying? So you now eventually you got to get it anyway. You know what I mean? But that's what we're up against here in the world. Like as Mark said, like they're doing business and we're doing emotion. And for them, that's a win all day, every day, especially for us as black people. Cause we trust, like we if it looks right, okay, well I think I can deal with you, but we have no idea what's behind that. Every company says we're here to help people, don't they? Like all the big companies,
the marketing
that's their
scheme.
scheme. Like it's been happening forever.
Everything's a marketing scheme.
Yeah, corporate America, like every company is going to say we care about diversity.
Let me tell it, religion is a marketing scheme.
Right. Well, it's like that story, but I mean, like once.
Throw that in there.
It's like the biggest marketing scheme. That's another show.
Yeah, facts.
But I mean, but that's what we're dealing with when it comes to this illusion we call like metaverse, technology, crypto. It's just
Digital
other
age.
illusions that people have created, and anything that man can create can be destroyed. So therefore, it is not real.
Take
You
a
should
break.
just move to an island.
Yeah. All right, we back.
All right, all right, all right.
Back again.
We back in the house.
Black History.
Black History Month.
But it's like every like show for us
Yes.
though.
So in this show, we're gonna take I guess, a slightly different perspective, but we're just gonna really look at, Black history from the what it's all about and where it came from. So we're gonna get into it. So I'll intro us. So as everybody knows, Black History Month. It's February, and it's time for schools to put together their Black History celebrations. Teachers are preparing the Dr. Kings, the Frederick Douglasses, and the Harriet Tubmans. All across this country, schools are taking pride in focusing on the stories of African Americans in one month. That's why many people believe our history is about slaves who were saved by the great white bearded man. They think our story was just about a great orator who had white hair and was not afraid to tell white folks the truth. They think our story is just about a militant Muslim versus a nonviolent preacher. Or they think it's about a woman who drove trains underground to sneak slaves to the north. They think black people's stories are about what part of the bus we sat in or which water fountain we drank from. Although to the contrary, African American history is wide-ranging, one that includes scientists, entrepreneurs, U.S. Marshals, educators, real estate developers, political figures, athletes, and so much more. The origin of African American history was not so African American people can be pacified from the blatant disrespect our contributions receive in America, but so our contributions can become part of the teaching of American history. The point of creating a week or a month of celebration was so students can display what they have learned all year to pay homage to a people who had an equal part in building of this nation. Lost my place. Carter G. Woodson is known as the father of African American history, and it's because of his efforts that today every February is recognized as Black History Month. In 1926, he began the Negro History Week as a way to have schools integrate the teaching of the Negro history in schools so that students, and in particular those of African descent, understand the contributions of blacks. It wasn't until 1976 that Gerald Ford officially proclaimed the month of February as an official American celebration of black history. Although each sitting president since 1926 began to recognize Negro History Week, and cities across America began celebrating in their own unique way. This celebration of black history in this episode is a reminder of the still existing need for change in history curriculums across the country. While some schools incorporate lessons on black history to their students, the system needs to adjust the curriculum to ensure the contributions of blacks are included, along with those of whites, and ensuring that some stories get retold with the true accounts to ensure our youth begin to understand just how important blacks are and always have been and always will be to the prosperity in America. So yeah, Black History Month.
That was dope.
Yeah, man.
That was
So for me,
a hell of a piece.
it was crazy when I really started to look into that because I wasn't actually that familiar with Carter G. Woodson.
Oh, well, okay, yeah.
And I know you
Yeah, I read his book.
read his book.
Yeah, Miseducation of a Negro.
Yes.
Man, that dude is. Whew. He was he was present
Absolutely.
in the space of illusion
Right.
at that time.
Well, and just understanding how important it is to actually teach history in the right way. Because his whole purpose behind it was so that blacks don't feel inferior, right? Because you're hearing all these stories, all these things going. So as a kid, think about it, even us as kids, you always thought that really white people did everything. Everything that was good or was around you was done by white people because of white people. When you don't realize that your own people have a hand in all of it. Like nothing's moving without black people in America. Like nothing moves.
Yeah. But and you think it's it's funny how that happens because once you lose like knowledge or any type of like think about it, right? Like if you knew that your dad was, let's say, a great, whatever he did in his town, just in this small town, he could have been a great business owner in his town, right? And that's your dad.
Hmm.
Like those are the types of things that is going to build a foundation in you because you saw your dad doing those things, right? So now think about it, right? What if you just never knew what your dad was and did, and he never consistently, like not just like one, but like a whole culture never knew what their dads and their forefathers did, right?
Absolutely.
But that's the reality that we live in,
That's the
though.
reality we live in.
So we don't know, so we don't get that feeling.
Right.
We only get to learn the stuff that they decide to teach us.
Right.
So like what he was talking about then, he was I'm sure screaming at the top of his lungs. I mean, he wrote a book about it and everything. Was like we're losing. We'll as generations go, because more and more people will die out and stories will go with them. We'll lose our whole history and it will be erased
Right.
by. I mean, it'll be erased by the rulers basically. That's why it is now, and we're just learning. It's 2022, and we're just learning of these great African Americans in American history. I'll just say Africans in American history. We're just learning about these things now,
Right.
like 200 years after it's ended,
Right.
150 years after it's ended. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And that's and when you think about somebody like Carter G. Woodson, his whole life's work
What's that?
was educating people on African American history. That's all he focused on. That's all he did. And it's just so unfortunate that as a society, it didn't catch on. Like it didn't make real change. It wasn't allowed in, and that's really what as we look at it, especially as we do this show and we learn all the things we learn in doing this show, and we learn about the millionaires of the 20s and all these prominent businessmen and people who have founded towns and people who have created businesses that have helped entire communities eat. You know, when you learn that, and when you're little, you're like, man, imagine if I got those stories at 10 and 15. And those are the stories I always heard at even 6 when I'm in kindergarten, and I'm looking at books and I see more black faces and doing great things. I have a sense of pride now versus a sense of inferiority. Because again, if what I'm learning is that I come from people who had to always cater to white people, I'm going to be thinking to myself, is that what I'm supposed to do? Even knowing inside I could be feeling different. That creates trauma.
Yep. And these feelings that we're having, like even when you're going through them as young, they're not like right in your face. They're just subconscious
Yeah.
type of feelings that you have, because one, there's no history there. You don't know, or you never got to see example of. The only example you got to see was poverty,
Yep.
or whatever that is. You never saw your mother ordering, the maid to do something. That creates a different type of psychological idea when you're a kid and you see that type of stuff. That's why I was fortunate to see my dad was always a hustler, with businesses, always trying to do something, start something. He always did stuff like that, and I saw him give people money, pay people. That's impactful. All those things. If those things are just taken away, then you don't have anything to grab onto. That's why it's so important to teach one. But I mean, as far as Carter G. Woodson, I mean, he was like, you said something earlier, Mark. It was like, yeah, it's a shame that didn't thrive, but like, I don't see how it could have in the environment, because the goal is not to empower us, it is to keep us as workers so we can contribute to their society.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, not that's not the goal. The goal is not for us to have as much money as them. All right. If it were, then we would highlight black businessmen all the time, like we do entertainers.
Yep.
Name me five, and I can't even do it myself. Name me five black businessmen that are millionaires or multimillionaires, not entertainments.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
Yeah, it's definitely
Robert
a
Smith,
challenging thing.
Bob Johnson, like, yeah, right, yeah,
Billion
billion dollars or millionaires,
Yeah.
just ordinary people. You can't name them, but you can name a whole heap of white businessmen that are just do business, right? So understanding that just shows you, like, yo, it's not set up for that to happen. So when he's trying to push this, I'm sure he got like pushback from everybody because that's not what's in now.
Yeah, and that was a frustrating thing for him
Yeah.
because, again, as he's trying to make it so it's about education, everybody else is trying to make it so it's just about like, oh, we're gonna make this hoopla about Black history and make everybody feel good. And again, it's like, it's the what I sometimes refer to as just you pacify the Negro. Like it's just like the baby's crying, so you just put the pacifier in the mouth, the baby shuts up. You know what I'm saying? So they pacify us with, okay, shut them up, because now we're celebrating, give them 1 month every year, just dedicated to them. But again, think about it. We hear the same stories all the time. It's the same stories. So that puts us in this box of who we are. And that's really what's important. And to me, it's just sad that, I know it's getting better, but the point is I don't want to see it on a commercial at the Super Bowl. I want to see it when I go into my daughter's school. I don't care if you put it on TV. Put it in the school. Make the school different. That's where it makes a difference. I don't need to see it on TV. That's nothing. That really doesn't matter. And that ain't for us anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's so that white people can say see. You know what I'm saying? That's really what
That's
that
the illusion. That was
Right.
that was the Super Bowl halftime show.
Right. Facts.
Like we was hype about it, but in actuality, people in worlds who really might not deal with African Americans a lot, they'll see that and they say, look, everything's got to be cool. Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, 50 Cent are on the Super Bowl. We're good now.
And they even let Eminem kneel.
I know. It's strategically, I think, but I'm not even gonna go there. Like the only white dude is the only one that kneels. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm sorry, I like Eminem, but like, you tell me he's the only one that felt like he could make a statement.
I'm talking about 50 be going crazy on the internet. You tell me he couldn't.
Man, please.
All right, thank you. All right, you know what I'm saying?
That was one of those, yo, you gonna kneel.
Yeah, M, you're near. But the whole point is, like, I mean, and I enjoyed the halftime show. I enjoyed it, but it goes back to the fact of like Mark was saying that candy. Let's just throw you that little ration so you can throw your thoughts off about what's really going on because we're really just blackballed another NFL head coach while having stopped hating and racism on our helmets.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like all of those things happen, and we and it's the same as then, the same as now. Carter G. Woodson, like we are, part of. I've read his book. We have the spirit of him in us, right? So we're saying the same things, but it's not going to resonate in society because now it's then. It's not like it was like way back then. It's like, no, those people just died off and we're in the place now. Yep. The same as it'll be in 20, 30 years from now. But it's the same. We're dealing with the same things. The people who are talking like preservation, things that are real to life, real to self, real to like your mental health, like those things, like I don't worry about that. Look at these bright, shiny things over here. This will make you feel good for the time moment. And because why? We know that you're not connected to anything because we erased your history from any of that. Because if you were connected to it, right? and you had a foundation in who you were and what it was, you would never be so easily swayed.
Yeah, one of the things, one of his books that I can't wait to read is The Education of the Negro Prior to 1861.
Mm.
You know, and that's really what fundamentally people have to understand this is about, and why black people are where they are is because in that era, it was hard for us to learn. So it was illegal to be educated at one point, and so that really just sums it up for the
Lashes for
American
reading.
Negro.
Or sometimes hung.
Yeah, killed. You know what I'm saying? Because you got caught with books. Like it's like just put that in the perspective. So again, when you think about now, Black History Month, yes, it's cool, right? It's cool, but it's not enough. It has to be what it was initially set out to be. It has to represent a push to have Black history taught equally in schools, along with white history.
Has to be systemic.
Has to be systemic.
Has to be taught systemically.
That's it.
So
That's the only way it works.
To everyone. Because it's not just like to black people. It has to be taught systemically to everyone. So like white kids don't think it's just this special month out that black people get.
Right.
So, oh, well, y'all have Black History Month. Like, y'all have. Like, no, we have Black History Month right now because Black history helped build this country. Actually built this country, period. Off the backs of slavery. Like, no question. Like, done. So that needs to be an integral part of their knowledge. So now, because once they know, they won't disrespect their counterparts who are in their classroom now. Because they won't have this superiority type of feeling. They'll have a feeling of like, oh, okay, this is how this happened, but yes, that was not right. But now they're learning that, okay, we treat people equally because they're learning about the harsh things that may have happened to people and not being sugarcoated by, pilgrims and Indians. Like,
Yeah.
no, nobody wants you to be responsible for the slavery and the things that happened in those days, but we do hold you accountable for not maintaining those things that continue to perpetuate that same behavior.
Yep. We need a redo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just really all it is. We need
it's
a
too much stuff.
redo.
You got to cut a clean slate,
Yeah, you might as well just throw it all out.
Yeah.
Sorry, you got to take down probably museums and all kinds of stuff, but it just is what it is.
Yeah.
Let the truth prevail. And there's plenty of money, so they got enough money
Plenty
out
of
there.
money is
They can
never
make it happen.
It's never a question of money.
Never.
It's only a question of will.
Absolutely.
And if it does, and we know for sure, if it doesn't make money, hey yo, they ain't really trying to mess with it.
Right. No. They ain't trying to mess with it. And then too, like you were saying earlier, they're not trying to allow blacks to continue to prosper, and
No.
they're gonna let us just a little bit.
Time.
We'll let every now and then we get there's a Jay-Z or a Dr. Dre or
And that's
somebody like
and
that
they'll
who
highlight
just
them.
catches them off guard
Yeah.
because a product blows up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, people like these guys have money because there was something that did really, really well.
Yes.
And they just started accumulating more assets, stocks, and all that.
They didn't. They were just ones that Jay-Z, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre were just ones that got through because the laws say that somebody's going to win the lottery, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, they did something with the opportunity they had and made this, but it's like, well, they played their cards right. It's like, well, why are they the only ones that can do that? And people had all this other money.
And you'll always find a giving white person in
Yes.
the room.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course.
Oh, I promise you.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Any room you go into, there will be at least one giving white person
Yeah.
who will say, "Go that way."
Yeah. And
literally they whisper.
Yeah, and you're right, and like it kind of create the illusion because like there actually are really a bunch of really good white people. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But it's just so overshadowed by the ignorance.
But they know
They
they
know-
got to be good to you on the low.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can't put on
Yeah.
Front Street. That's
'Cause
why they say.
because they
"Go
know
that
what
way."
we don't know. They know how they see us.
Yeah.
Like they know how they see us, and it's not like I said. It's not the fact that they can even help how they see it because it's just in the environment of how you see black people. It's a whole classism thing. It's a really crazy dynamic you can get into with that. But I mean, just understanding and having a foundation of something which, like, we would definitely, I don't think this is what he really meant for it to become
No,
as Black History.
not at all.
Um, but but still, I think that the essence of it existing sparks conversations like this at least one time a year, so we know that it will never go away, and we can keep expanding that. I'm sure as we evolve, but yeah,
And
like,
it's Black History all the time on the
yeah,
P1
it's
Reality
always
Check
Black History
podcast.
because it's so important, man. Like, it's important, like the foundation, like the Carter G. Woodson, like just planting that seed was something that can never be taken away. And now, like, it's here to stay, even though I don't believe that the intentions were the same, but I think that the idea of it and what it represents can spark something that can start a flame that'll burn forever.
Absolutely, I agree.
All right.
All right, DTA, you ready?
DTA
You
with
ready?
the quote of the day.
You ready?
Yay?
You
Okay.
ready?
What can I say?
You ready? You ready?
Good?
Bars.
You good?
Yes.
I'm liking the whole vibe right now. Yo. You doing your thing
No,
right
I was
now,
gonna be on
Dominique.
camera.
Huh?
I was gonna be on
Oh, you
camera.
knew you was coming on camera today.
Yeah.
It was extra. I like the pink and everything. It's dope.
Thank you. All right. So the quote of the day is by Kevin Acoin, I think. It's today I choose life. Every morning when I wake up, I choose joy, happiness, negativity, and pain. To feel the freedom that comes from being able to continue to make mistakes and choices. Today I choose to feel life, not to deny my humanity, but embrace it.
I like that.
That's a good one.
Embrace it all.
It's like full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Embrace it all. Embrace the good, the bad, all of it.
Live in the moment. You can't go wrong there. Living present. If you're living in the
I choose to enjoy life.
singing.
Alright, so to this quote, it reminded me of this YouTube video because I just be researching a lot of stuff. It was this guru, I believe. I don't know his name, but I think he was talking about manifestation, and he was like, humans are like the only species on Earth that can actually pick their own life and do what they want to do. Like animals have to go by nature.
That could be the curse.
Animals, like, they have no choice but to operate by nature and everything that goes on outside. But humans are the only ones, species, that can literally do what we want to do.
They wildin'. Like wildin'. Yo. Every time I try to settle here, they come like knocking down, trying to build their own stuff all the time. It's crazy. You know, it's crazy. Like, yo,
I was here for
years, bro. And look, and look, and the deer, like, every time, like, I'm crossing the street, my cousin getting hit by people and stuff. Like, the road wasn't here before. You know.
Oh my God.
All right, yo. Take us out, Dominique.
Alright, so it's DTA Dominique, the artist coming from Jersey, North Carolina. Subscribe to your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, everybody. Yo.
Peace.